All right. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Trani here. Going to dive into today's what's new going. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. What's new in the world of design and technology and all that fun stuff? So feel free to say hello. Yeah, just kind of checking chat right near. And right now, I see you here, Frank. Awesome, Afroja. I see people on Facebook. Awesome, Megan, Andreas, Sam. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm coming in loud and clear, and we'll dive into today, kind of what's going on, and all the news and guests that we have. So that's what we'll start with. We'll start with guests. So yeah, awesome. Paco's in the house. If Paco's here, I just feel safe. You know, I just feel like he's like a warm blanket. Being the tech guy, I just appreciate him being here. All right. One thing I'll point out is my shiny forehead. I gotta fix that, I know. Maybe that's the makeup department. Nonetheless, some amazing guests we have this week. Just kind of want to do a shout out to them, just so you know. As you know, we go live every week. And here we are again. Hello, Elizabeth. I see you there. So yeah, we're going to be creating a postcard series with Andrea Davalos, which is going to be pretty cool. And I'm going to kind of dive into some of those textures that you can actually get for free this morning. Also creating an interactive card game with Elisa Amory as well. So that's going to be done in XD, just so you're aware. On Wednesday and Thursday, we have some photo editing. Sort of like finding your style and having a consistent style is actually pretty important. So it's all about, as you, again, just become more, I don't know, further on in your career, you're going to have to do more editing, and you're going to have to figure out sort of what your style is, and it's going to mean removing things from your portfolio. So that's going to be really good. Andrea Laro is awesome. And of course, designing. This is going to be fun right over here. Oh, not right over here. Oh, there we are. Designing a magazine with Andreas Santana. So I think he's in Santa Barbara, actually creates magazine layouts, some really cutting edge stuff, works with Supreme, I think, and it's going to be pretty cool. But why am I even talking about this and showing this? I could actually show this sort of in the browser, just kind of give them a shout out. And again, you can see some of this fun illustration work that you'll see today from Andrea Davalos. All right, Paul and Sam, hopefully. Yeah, my mom's not even on Facebook hardly at all, or Instagram, and that's where I posted her little, Mother's Day card. But of course, I talked to her, and yeah, so that's what's going on there. Elsa Amory as well, so visual designer, Joy Group. Awesome. She's Dar es Salaam from Tanzania. Oh, tell me, I'd love to go there. This looks like I've never been to Tanzania, but I feel like there's a lot of African countries that just, man, they don't shy away from a color palette. I think we have a tendency to, stay away from color. Like, what do I always wear? Dark colors. Not cool. But I love this palette that's happening, and this will be fun to see her actually start today. Between today and tomorrow, she's going to be doing some cool stuff in Adobe XD. It's going to be a lot of fun. Andre Laro, you guys probably all know him, and he's just, he's fun to talk with, and I'm sure he's going to have some awesome pro tips. By the way, you can see a lot of this. By the way, as well, can we just talk about this little extension that we have for Behance? Yeah, see if you can get it. It's actually my boss made it. Actually, excuse me, my boss's boss made this extension. Says whenever we go live, sort of from the official Adobe Behance live channel. So get that. It allows me to just jump right to the current page that I'm actually on and down to the schedule. So you could always take a look at the schedule right below here, and it makes things pretty easy, as you can see. So yeah, I love the little browser extension. Thank you, Mike Chambers is his name. Shout out to him. He's awesome. I don't care if you think it's kissing up. I just think he's an awesome boss. I just care less what you think. He's awesome. All right, so you can see she's going to be creating an interactive card game. Here we go. This is what I wanted to get to. Developing consistent photo editing style with Andrea Laro Wednesday and Thursday. So that's going to be cool. And then we can see designing a magazine with Andrea Santana as well. And here's his portfolio, as you can see. Supreme Brand Guide. Oh yeah, he has all these animated GIFs. That's what you got going on, and it's going to be a good week. Other things going on as well. There's streams and daily creative challenges that you're aware of as well. So how are you doing, Terry Springer? I love it when people just give me a little bit of personal details, like you're from Minnesota. I need to know your exact address, though. Just kidding. Don't give me your exact address. I just like to talk to people. That's all. How's the weather in Minnesota? In Colorado, Denver, it's actually cloudy and rainy, and it's going to be that way for the next couple days. So that's Colorado for you, I guess, currently. But we're going to get more rain than we have, than I think within the first 5 months than we have for all of last year. So that's cool. All right. Let's dive into some more news. Did I see you over there, Rocky? Let's dive into some more design and technology news. Oh yeah. And we're back. You know, we have, excuse me, a long list of like just free stuff that we just are constantly like giving out. And that's what inspired this show. It's like there's so much going on. There's free stuff that we give away, such as bringing creativity into any classroom with Kahn Academy. If you guys are aware of Kahn Academy, I don't know if you are, but basically started sort of more about sort of teaching math, which I could totally use, but we're also having an opportunity to partner with them as well. And I can paste this link into chat. So we have free self-paced right down here. Co-creating learning resources, including a free self-paced course for educators. Teach creativity with Adobe and Kahn Academy. 100 free accompanying lesson plans and projects for all grade levels. It's pretty awesome. So I don't know if there are any teachers out there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. There we go. Marcus from Cologne. Thank you. I have not been to Cologne, Germany. Am I correct? If I'm not, I'm going to feel like an idiot, but I'll learn. So check that out. Design a poster, design a Lewis diagram, which I don't even know what that is, which is why I should actually jump in here and check these out. So there's that. I'm going to paste it into chat. If you're joining me elsewhere, I'll try to paste it in there as well. It's kind of a long link. Hopefully it comes through, but you guys get the idea. Free resources. Let's move on. Muriel's in the house. Christine. Good morning. Yeah. So let's step forward into what we have with fonts really fast as well. So that's on the side of sort of news education, which is cool. Thank you, Germany, Cologne, Germany. And just making sure. I think I was actually thinking Copenhagen, Denmark for a split second there, and I second guessed myself. But you can go to fonts.adobe.com and there's font recommendations. So we can kind of dive into this really fast because I think it's pretty cool. I feel like they do a lot of things when it comes to education, but here we are, Adobe Fonts. You can go ahead and browse fonts, which is what I'm going to do right now. Just browsing through, I don't know, fun ones. I love this as well. Let me like sort of scan this list just based on the visuals alone. It's like, yeah, fun. Totally into what these fun fonts have to offer. So I'll kind of go through. Oh, I actually like that one on that previous page. So let's go back. Oh, there's so many good ones. I'm sorry, I can't make up my mind. Really into slab serif, like Bombarda, excuse me. Selecting that one. As we go in here, we could actually see it in action, which is awesome. So this is a recent update, but also right down here, we can see and activate this, but right in here, recommendations for this font. Click, here's your font pairings. So This is Bombarda font pairings Bombarda with Forma. And as I roll over them, I can see it's like, okay, this is Bombarda and here's Forma. Just a good pairing. What they probably did here, and I could be wrong, but it's the X height. I bet you the X height matches up between these two fonts. And again, sans serif with slab serif is just a good combo. So from here I can say, hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead and activate both of those, Bombarda and Forma, and I can use those sort of right away. Okay, so here's other fonts like it. So again, just recommendations, exactly what you think it is. If it's not what you think it should be, you could help them out by saying, hey, you know, that's not a good result. Bam. And we'll take that feedback into consideration. Not that that would disappear forever, but that is what's going on. I think that's kind of cool. That is a nice font, huh? I'm like really into fonts. I'm excited to show you this font that I have today, by the way, in a moment that also happens to be free, which is super cool. So let's just go on. Just a couple things in terms of news, like that G. Bombard General. All right. So basically, just so you know, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, we have Clubhouse. I'll be on Clubhouse on occasion, not as much as other people, which I love Clubhouse because, again, it's like the water cooler of whatever field you're interested in. But Twitter's expanding spaces to anyone with 600 plus followers. And just so you know what that looks like, I really wish I had my phone connected right now, but basically you can, wait for it. Basically, Twitter Spaces is basically like Clubhouse, so it gives you space to talk and just your own little audio room. Okay, so that's all that's happening. Okay, we good? Fantastic. And let's move on because, it looks like the slide did not update. Maybe it's on the next one. But Clubhouse actually does not have an Android app yet, but they actually have an Android app currently in beta. So that's sort of its biggest downfall, is it doesn't have an Android app out there, but it's currently in beta, and that's news there. So again, fun stuff. If you like chatting with people, since we're all living this remote lifestyle, you know, it's one of those things. All right. Oh, this is so cool too. In social media news as well, Instagram has automated captions for stories. So that's the short of it. Just like it does for songs, it'll start to print out the lyrics. It will do the same thing for any words you speak. It'll actually show you those captions in Instagram. Okay, and you can find that. I'm looking for just a quick screenshot. I don't really see anything out there, but just think of it as the lyrics. That's what happens, but it's using captions. All right. Unfortunately, it's just for English right now, but maybe other languages in the future. So that's what's going on. All right. Cool. Let's move on. Just so you know, all conferences have gone online, and most of them are free, which is awesome. So one of those is the AIGA Business and Design Conference, as we see here. And we have our one and only Scott Belsky, who is going to be speaking at that. So you can join these, by the way. I'm going to as well. So again, shout out to Scott Belsky. Right, so he's the Chief Product Officer. He's basically overall of Creative Cloud. So he's the Creative Cloud boss, if you will. Super cool guy. And you can reserve or RSVP via LinkedIn. That's going to be on Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So that's going to be kind of cool. And feel free. We got Google and typically other, Warby Parker, experienced designer. So again, free resources for you. And now you know. Hello, Biola, dropping in for a second. Good to see ya. All right. I knew I had a lot of news today, and there's always a lot of stuff I want to show. I think that's actually about it for news. So that is all we have for news. We can talk about creative now. Let's dive in and talk about what we have for creatives and creativity. All right, welcome back. Yes, and thank you so much. Anakin is being so nice. Just gave me some compliments, which is very cool. So this is a font that I'm really into right now. Again, shout out to creatives, and we can go to Behance, and through Behance, you'll be able to see a ton of projects if you just go to Discover, by the way. But Pheno Black is a font that I'm interested in, and I wanted to share it with you. In fact, if I open up Photoshop, I can show you. But here it is. Tell me what your favorite font is right now. Tell me, let me know. Pheno Black. I'm really into these shapes. It's really cool. What I want to do with these shapes is actually probably bring them into Illustrator, use Pheno Black, and 3D extrude them, because it's just begging for it. Right? Because it's just those awesome solid shapes. Super cool. There we are. Phino. Pheno Black. Look at it. It's like total. What shall we say? Bruce. There you go, Bruce. Hope you don't mind, I'm just going to do your name. We'll pick a different color. Let's go with hot pink. Why not? No surprise there. In fact, we'll do a little 3D extrude and bevel. And sure enough, there we have it. We'll crank that up to 100 just for kicks, or 200. And let's make that isometric like so. And adjust the lighting. You guys get the idea. There you are, Bruce. Just a cool font. I can change this any way I want, but I'm really into this font because it's very structured and sort of has that basic shape aspect to it, which is cool. All right, there you are, Bruce. You guys might be wondering about this image right here, which I also thought this was really cool, and I wish I made it, right? But where did this come from? Again, new creative. Let's jump out. You can see under Discover right in here. Discover in your Creative Cloud desktop app. Again, a bunch of free stuff. Just look for that word free if you want. Free abstract gradient illustrations. And you can click on that, of course, to open up a browser. And you can not only get those free assets, but see how they were created. Thanks to Anatoly Bobby. Thank you, Anatoly from Ukraine. And here you can see, you can play with those gradient patterns. Those are done with the freeform gradient tool. So download those, try it out. This is just one of them. And I'm like, great, this is perfect. Edit gradient right over here. And with this selected, edit gradient, bam, there it is. And here's all the points that it took to make this piece, right? So kind of move that around. I'm really into that color, but if we decide we want to change it, I don't want to make it ugly, but I do want to show a difference. So there it is, just kind of changing that to green and kind of moving that around. You get the idea. Again, just free stuff, and with a note to how to change it. Now it looks like he's got some sort of fungus, weird, gross. Good job, Paul. It's like, Paul, I don't know. I don't know about this. You're probably really good at designing, like, visualizing of like viruses. There we go, that's better. Freeform gradients are fun. Hello, Michelle. Good to have you here. You're exactly right. Okay. Excuse me. All right. cool. I'm just gonna actually stay on my screen if you don't mind, because I don't have enough time. But right in here, this is where you can find free stuff. Just go to Discover. You could always sort, say, by illustration or whatever industry you're interested in. Check out those articles and free assets that we have right in here, right? There's also Marketplace, where again, a lot of these plugins are available. A lot of them are free, right? So again, I don't know what Toggle Track is, but some will cost money, like Retouch Ninja. But again, for the most part, it seems like they are free, and what I would typically sort through in here is maybe by Photoshop. So, yeah. Anyways, grab those plugins, use that. I have them already in Photoshop, so if we jump out here, sure enough, right under here, plugins, bam, those are all the ones that I've gotten. All right. And thanks for asking. This is all about sort of showing you design and technology news you need to know about as a designer. A lot of times I'll talk about free stuff. Here's a laundry list of free things that I've talked about sort of over the past, say, month or two. Yeah, so pretty much any site out there is going to have free assets. Even any site where you pay for content, they're going to have a sort of a free section, which is where a lot of this comes from. So that's what that is. But let's jump back to my screen, because again, I only have a couple minutes and I like to show stuff, right? So again, just type in free for a lot of these. stock.adobe.com, just free. Boom, there we are, right? We can kind of peruse all the free vectors, right? And actually, look at this. How many results do we have in free? 14,000 under vector images. 14,000 vector images, free. How are we even how are we afloat as a company? How do we do it? I don't know. Ooh, noun project and brush easy were maybe hidden in that, but I love those two as well. I need to reduce the lighting. I need to clean up that whole screen. I totally agree. I wasn't even planning on showing it because it's just too much, right? But you are right. We could use Brush Easy. We could install some brushes as well. Sometimes, and this leads me to community questions, which I also want to mention. Let's just jump over here. Too many things. Sometimes you might have issues where you can't use the brushes maybe from a CC library. Some of you might not know that, yeah, you have a brushes right in here, but then in libraries, you also have brushes, right? The reasons the reasons they are grayed out is because they're not supported in Photoshop. Obviously, they are probably available in Fresco. So that's usually the case. It's either a vector brush available in Illustrator, or it's maybe a pixel-based brush that is using technology in Fresco. So those are the two scenarios. This one I can use. So as I select it, of course, oops, let's add a layer. Just give me 1 second. Let's just add a layer and give it a second. It's thinking. Oh, that's the problem. This happens as well, and I'm so glad you guys are here. You're like, this could also be this person's problem that they posted. They don't have actually a brush selected. So right in here, what I was actually using is the smudge tool. It looks like it's a brush, but it's the smudge tool, or it will be history brush, or one of these other ones. So just, especially with these, it could be one of these art history. I get it. Like, they're very close to the actual brush, which is right up here. I make that mistake all the time. Sure enough, there it is. And again, you can use my Wacom. Maybe we'll get something better, but you guys get the idea for using brushes now. All right. Yeah, so much free stuff out there. So many cool things. And Fino is in the house. All right, there we are. Let's change that. Change that. Thank you for hanging out, everybody. There you go. Thank you. down to my last minute. There's nothing to smudge. That's exactly right. Technically, there could be with the smudge brush. With it selected, I can have it sample all layers. But it's interesting that it doesn't give me any sort of warning, and I'm glad it doesn't. But I always just make sure you have sample all layers turned on, and you get the idea. What's the big problem with this? Is the leading. I get it. Right? We would change that accordingly. So... and you guys get the idea. Thank you so much, everybody. 1,200. 1,500. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. We got a full week planned. Stick around. And always just reference that fun little schedule that you have on Behance right down here. Okay? So that's all you need to do. We have custom patterns coming up. It's actually an encore presentation with Andrew Hartrattle. And then, ooh, excuse me, not that one. Technically, that is what's going on, but let's roll back a little bit. And there we go. Daily Creative Challenge coming up next. Cool, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging out. I got some cool stuff that I'm going to be making later this week. That's part of the master classes. I appreciate you guys. Take care. Stick around. And we will see you all very soon. Thank you. See ya.